In the previous video, we were discussing the chapter Motion in a Plane, in which the last topic which we had discussed was zero vector and its properties. Zero vectors and its properties. Today we will see the physical examples of zero vector. Physical examples of zero vector. Today we will discuss the physical examples of zero vector. First, the position vector of a particle. Position vector of a particle. Position vector of a particle lying at the origin. Position vector of a particle lying at the origin is a zero vector. The position vector of a particle, the particle which is lying at the origin, then what would be its position vector? So its position vector is 0. So the position vector of a particle lying at the origin is 0. Next, the velocity vector of a stationary object. The velocity vector of a stationary object is an example of zero. The velocity vector of a stationary object. The velocity vector of a stationary object. The body which is a stationary position means it is not moving, means its velocity is 0. So the velocity vector of a stationary object is an example of zero vector. The acceleration vector of an object. Third, the acceleration vector of an object moving with uniform velocity. The acceleration vector of an object moving with uniform velocity. Moving with uniform velocity is a zero vector. Uniform velocity means constant velocity. So the acceleration vector of an object moving with uniform velocity is an example of zero vectors. So this is what about the physical examples of zero vector. First, the position vector of an object or the position vector of a particle lying at the origin is an example of zero vector. Second, the velocity vector of a stationary object is an example of zero vector. And third, the acceleration vector of an object moving with uniform velocity is a zero vector. So this completes about the zero vector, its properties and physical examples of zero vector. About the definition of zero vector, its properties already we have seen in the previous video. Now we will talk about multiplication of a vector by a real number. Multiplication of a vector by a real number. What is meant by the multiplication of a vector by a real number? So let us suppose when a vector A, when a vector A is multiplied, when a vector A is multiplied by a real number lambda. Suppose there is a vector A which is multiplied by a real number lambda, then we get another vector lambda into vector A. When a vector A is multiplied by real number lambda, then we get another vector. We get another vector lambda A whose magnitude is lambda times the vector A. When a vector A is multiplied by a real number lambda, then we get another vector lambda A whose magnitude is lambda times the magnitude of A. If lambda is positive, then the direction of vector lambda A is same as that of vector A. So, in the first paragraph, we have discussed about the magnitude. When a real number lambda is multiplied by a vector A, we get another vector lambda A, and the magnitude of lambda A vector is lambda times the magnitude of A. And the next paragraph we are talking about its direction. So if lambda is positive, then the direction of vector lambda A is same as that of vector A. And if lambda is negative, then the direction of lambda into A vector is opposite to that of vector A. So two things arises, whether lambda is positive and whether lambda is negative. If lambda is positive, then the direction of lambda into vector A is same as that of the vector A. And the next thing, if lambda is negative, then the direction of lambda into vector A is opposite to the vector A. Suppose this is vector A and suppose there is another vector B and the value of lambda is 2 and lambda is positive, then this vector B is equals to 2 times of vector A. B equals to 2 into vector A. Here the value of lambda is 2, which is positive. So if there is a vector A and we have multiplied this vector A by a real number 2, we get another vector B, and if the direction of lambda is positive, if the lambda is positive, then the value of 2A vector is same as that of the vector A. The value of vector B is same as that of the vector A. This is vector A and this is vector B equals to minus of 2 into vector. When the value of lambda is negative, then the direction of vector 2 into vector A is, means the direction of vector B is opposite to that of A. So this is what about multiplication of a vector by a real number. The first thing, when a vector A is multiplied by a real number lambda, then we get another vector lambda into A vector, whose magnitude is lambda times the magnitude of A. If lambda is positive, then the direction of lambda into A vector is same as that of the vector A, and if lambda is negative, then the direction of lambda into A vector is opposite that of the vector A. Now the next thing which we will discuss, multiplication of a vector by a scalar. Multiplication of a vector by a scalar. When a vector is multiplied by a scalar, then what conclusion we draw? So when a vector A is multiplied by a scalar lambda, when a vector A is multiplied by a scalar lambda. Here lambda is not real. Lambda is not a real number, but it is a scalar. So when a vector A is multiplied by a scalar which has certain unit, then the unit of lambda into vector A is obtained by multiplying the units of lambda and vector A. When a vector A is multiplied by a scalar quantity lambda, here lambda we have taken a scalar. Lambda we have taken a scalar, not real number. In this case, the lambda has taken a scalar quantity. So when a vector A is multiplied by a scalar quantity lambda, and there is a certain unit of lambda, then the unit of lambda into A is obtained by multiplying the units of vector A and lambda. For example, when mass is multiplied, by velocity vector, mass, here the mass is lambda because mass is a scalar quantity. Here at the place of lambda we are taking mass. So when mass is multiplied by a velocity vector, velocity is a vector quantity, then when a mass is multiplied by velocity vector, then we get the physical quantity. Then we get the physical quantity as momentum. We get the physical quantity momentum. Momentum is represented by P. So when a scalar quantity means mass, when a scalar quantity, that is mass, is multiplied by a vector quantity, that is velocity, we get the physical quantity momentum, and the unit of momentum is found by multiplying the units of mass and velocity. So the new physical quantity comes is momentum. And what would be the unit of momentum? So the formula for momentum is mass into velocity, where mass is a scalar, velocity is vector, and its unit is calculated by multiplying the units of both the terms. The unit of mass is kg and the unit of velocity is meter per second. So this is the unit of momentum. So when a scalar quantity lambda is multiplied by a vector quantity, then the unit of lambda into A is obtained by multiplying the units of both the quantities, means a scalar quantity and the vector quantity, means the unit of mass and velocity. The next topic which we will discuss is addition or composition of vectors. Addition or composition of vectors. Addition or composition of vectors. When two or more quantities are added, the process of adding two or more vectors. The process of adding. The process of adding two or more vectors is called composition of vectors. Is called composition of vectors. So this is what about the definition of composition of vector? The process of adding two or more vectors is called composition of vectors. There are three laws of vector addition. There are three laws of vector addition. And the process of addition of two or more vectors is called composition of vectors. There are three laws of vector addition. First is called triangle law of vector addition. Triangle law of vector addition. By this rule, we can add two vectors. This is the rule for getting addition of two vectors. Addition of two vectors. Or two vectors can be added by the triangle law of vector addition. The next is parallelogram law of vector addition. Again, by this law, two vectors are added, means by triangle law of vector addition and by parallelogram law of vector addition, two vectors are added. And third is polygon law of vector addition. Polygon law of vector addition. From this law, more than two vectors are added. From polygon law of vector addition, more than two vectors are added. So one by one, we will discuss all these three laws. Firstly, we will talk about the triangle law of vector addition. Triangle law of vector addition. And its statement if two vectors vector A and vector B, if two vectors vector A and vector B both represented in magnitude and direction, if two vectors vector A and vector B both represented in magnitude and direction by the adjacent sides of a triangle taken in the same order, then the line joining the tail end, of one vector to the head end of another vector gives the resultant vector. Gives the resultant vector taken in opposite order. Taken in opposite order. So this is the statement of the triangle's law of vector addition. If two vectors, vector A and vector B, both represented in magnitude and direction by the adjacent sides of a triangle, taken in the same order, then line joining the tail end of one vector to the head end of another vector gives the resultant vector taken in the opposite order. Suppose there are two vectors, vector A and vector B. There are two vectors, vector A and vector B, and these two vectors have taken in the same order. Their orders are same. Then this end is called tail end and this is called head end. Again, this is the head end. Then the line joining the tail end of one vector to the head end of another vector taken in the opposite order. Taken in the opposite order from O to Q. From O to Q is called resultant vector. So if this is vector A, this is vector B, then the resultant vector R is given by vector A plus vector B. So this is what about the vector addition by triangle law. Now we will derive the expression for its magnitude and direction. Let us draw a perpendicular from point Q and produce P to R. This is 90 degree. Draw a perpendicular from Q and produce OP to R. Name this angle as theta and name this angle as alpha. So in triangle or in right triangle, the value of, we will calculate the value of sine theta. Sine theta equals to perpendicular upon hypotenuse, QR upon QP, and QR upon the value of QP is B. The magnitude of vector is B. So it gives Q bar is equals to B sine theta. So we get the value of Q bar which is equals to B sine theta. Now we will find the formula for cos theta. Cos theta equals to base upon hypotenuse, means PR upon PQ, and PR upon PQ is again B. So PR comes to be B cos theta. So this is what about the value of QR and the value of PR. Now in triangle, from triangle ORQ, this is also right triangle. From triangle ORQ, we use the Pythagoras theorem. OQ square equals to OR square plus QR square. OQ is resultant R, so R square. OR can be written as OP plus PR the whole square and QR the square. Put the value of OP. OP is A and the value of PR is B cos theta the whole square. The value of QR is B sin theta the whole square, and this is R square. Now we will solve this. So r square, expand on the formula a plus b the whole square. So a square plus 2ab cos theta plus b square cos square theta, and plus this comes to be b square sin square theta. So it gives a square plus 2ab cos theta. From these two terms, b square is common. So it remains cos square theta plus sin square theta, and cos square theta plus sin square theta comes to be 1. So r square equals to a square plus 2ab cos theta and plus b square, and the resultant r is written as under root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. This is the formula for finding the resultant of two vectors, a vector and vector b vector, when they are inclined at an angle theta, and for finding the angle in the same triangle we use tan alpha equals to perpendicular upon base QR upon OR, and tan alpha equals to QR. The value of QR is b sin theta, and the value of OR is written as OP plus PR. OP is A and PR is B cos theta. So tan alpha equals to B sin theta upon A plus B cos theta, and alpha is equals to, when tan will go on right side, it becomes inverse. So tan inverse B sin theta upon A plus B cos theta. So this is the formula for finding the direction of the resultant vector, and this is for finding the magnitude of the resultant. Magnitude of the resultant vector, and this is the formula for finding the direction of the resultant vector. The formula for finding the direction of resultant vector.